Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by new Patreon supporter Hector. Huge thanks to Hector and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Hector reached out asking for help with his Sarevok Deathbringer deck, and I was more than happy to oblige. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Sarevok Deathbringer is a 4-mana 3/4 legendary human knight. At the beginning of each player's end step, if no permanents left the battlefield this turn, that player loses X life, where X is Sarevok's power. We can also choose a background. The background chosen, as I'm sure you've guessed from the title of the video, is Raised by Giants. This background makes our commander's base power and toughness 10/10. So when combined with Sarevok, that means each player loses 10 life every end step, if nothing left the battlefield. So when combined with Sarevok, that means that each player loses 10 life at their end step, if nothing left the battlefield. It's important to note that Leave the Battlefield isn't a death trigger. This counts exile effects as well. So a card like Leyline of the Void wouldn't help Sarevok drain players of their life total. But Fog could under the right circumstances. Now, Hector sent me his current deck list and asked for upgrades, and he asked that the upgrades stay under $100. I went through his list and found that it lacked focus more than anything else. So I decided to focus on drain effects. We want our opponent's life totals to disappear quickly. We also want to blow up as much of their stuff as possible so they don't have many permanents when it becomes their turn. We also want to follow our handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. As I'm sure you've heard by now, this channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. One of my favorite products Ultimate Guard has is their Xenoskin Sidewinder. The Sidewinder has a soft microfiber lining as well as the rugged Xenoskin shell we've all come to love. While the Sidewinder isn't a new product, they are now available in the beautiful two-tone Synergy series, like this blue-white one seen here. Find out if your local game store carries Ultimate Guard products, or click on the link down below to order yourself one from Amazon. One more thing before we get started. I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIV over on my other channel, Musings by Danon. If you want to pop in and ask some questions, chat about Commander, or just hang out, you're more than welcome to. I'm not sure what the schedule will be going forward, but for now it's every weekday in the afternoons or evenings. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Verdant Catacombs, Boseiju Who Endures, Skemfall Elder Hall, Temple of Malady, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth, Witherbloom Campus, Grim Backwoods, Jungle Hollow, Rogue's Passage, Myriad Landscape, Ash Barrens, Terramorphic Expanse, Evolving Wilds, 15 Swamps, and 6 forests make up our land base for this deck. Burnished Heart, Undercellar Myconid, Geode Golem, Aranus Gloomstalker, Neverwinter Dryad, Traverse the Outlands, Wayfarer's Bauble, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, Traveler's Amulet, Arcane Signet, and Soul Ring help us to ramp into our spells faster. Twilight Prophet, Fierce Empath, Bonecaller Cleric, Corpse Augur, Yasan the Wandering Bard, Kaga Shadow Archdruid, Infernal Sovereign, Farhaven Elf, Owlbear Cub, Ever After, and Relentless Pursuit help us to dig through our deck and keep our hands full. Butcher of Malakir, Gatekeeper of Malakir, Deuthi Voidwalker, Reclamation Sage, Duskmangler, Dark Imposter, Shieldred, Rise of the Witch King, Naturalize, Terror, Lethal Scheme, Cast Down, Asterian's Thirst, Assassin's Trophy, Putrefy, Merciless Executioner, Golgari Charm, Return to Nature, and Beast Within help to keep our opponents in line. But we've also got Collector Oof and Painful Quandary as stacks effects to slow the game down. Culling Ritual, Toxic Deluge, Deadly Tempest, and Vona's Hunger help to reset the board as needed. Orcish Bowmasters, Archon of Cruelty, Grey Merchant of Asphodel, Elderbrain, Breach the Multiverse, Howl from Beyond, Respite, Darkness, Lightning Greaves, Torment of Hailfire, Warlock Class, Wound Reflection, Loyal Subordinate, Court of Ambition, and Archfiend of Despair help us to close out the game and serve as our win conditions. Now that we have our deck list, we should compare it to our checklist. 47 mana sources split between 35 lands and 12 pieces of ramp. A little light, but most of the deck has a pretty low mana value. 11 pieces of card advantage. 19 pieces of interaction plus 2 stacks pieces. 4 board wipes. 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Return to Nature and Dauthi Voidwalker. 1 Sudden I Win card in Howl from Beyond. Howl from Beyond, assuming we have the mana for it, can pump our commander to the point of ending a player at their end step, especially with all of the life loss doublers we have in the deck. Wound Reflection and Warlock Class both help to close out games much faster than you'd believe. Remember, life loss isn't damage, but damage is life loss. So if someone else is attacking our opponents, Wound Reflection would double that life loss at their end step. And so will Archfiend of Despair. Now, some of you will wonder why I've added some expensive cards. I assure you, nothing I added was more expensive than Archfiend of Despair, which, thanks to a recent reprint, is much cheaper than it was a few months ago. Hector asked that I keep the upgrades under $100 in total, and they came to about $75. Do you have a Sarevok deck? What about a Raised by Giants deck? What's your secret deck tech? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Alex, Daniel, Steve, Kevin, Alex, Cookie, Borgie, Jake, Exiled Rogue, Manassas, Nazwin, Kyo, Oolong, and Pedro. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.